My credit score dropped 400 points overnight, and the person destroying my financial life was sleeping in my guest bedroom. My name is Patricia. I'm 71 years old. And 3 weeks ago, I discovered that my own son had been using my identity to finance a lifestyle I never knew he was living. It started with a rejection letter from the bank. Dear Mrs. Williams, we regret to inform you that your application for a home equity loan has been denied due to excessive outstanding debt. I read it 3 times. Outstanding debt. I didn't have any debt. I'd paid off my mortgage 15 years ago, never carried a credit card balance, never missed a payment on anything. I called the bank immediately. This is Patricia Williams. I received a loan rejection letter, but I think there's been a mistake. Let me pull up your credit report, Mrs. Williams. I heard typing. Then silence. Mrs. Williams, I'm showing 17 open credit card accounts with a total balance of $127 and that's impossible. You also have 2 auto loans totaling $89 and a personal loan for $40,000. My head started spinning. Ma'am, I don't have any of those things. The accounts show recent activity. Payments, purchases, cash advances. Someone has stolen my identity. You'll need to file a police report and contact the credit agencies. I hung up and immediately called the credit bureau. Experian, this is David speaking. This is Patricia Williams. I need my credit report. Someone has stolen my identity. I can provide that for you. What's your social security number? I gave him the information. Mrs. Williams, your credit score is 310. What does that mean? It means you're considered a very high credit risk. Multiple late payments, maxed out credit cards, defaulted loans. But I haven't made any of those purchases. Mom, the purchases show your name, address, and social security number. They even have your signature on file. Can you tell me when these accounts were opened? The oldest one is from 3 years ago. The most recent was last week. 3 years. Someone had been destroying my credit for 3 years. Can you tell me where the bills are being sent? Most of them go to your home address, but some go to a P.O. box downtown. What P.O.? Box 1247 on 5th Street. I'd never rented a P.O. box in my life. That afternoon I drove to the post office on 5th Street. I'd like to know who rented P.O. Box 1247. I can't give out that information without proper identification. It's my box. Someone's been using my identity. The clerk looked sympathetic but firm. Ma'am, if it's really your box, you should have the key and the rental agreement. I'm telling you, someone stole my identity and rented this box. You'll need to file a police report and come back with a detective. I drove home frustrated and confused. Who had access to my social security number? My address? My personal information? I lived alone. Had for 8 years since my husband died. The only people with access to my personal documents were my son Michael and my daughter Jennifer. Jennifer lived in Seattle. We talked once a week. She had her own successful career as a nurse. Michael lived 20 minutes away. He'd been staying with me on and off for the past 2 years. Just until I get back on my feet, Mom. He'd lost his job as a car salesman 18 months ago. Couldn't find steady work since then. I'd been letting him live in my guest room rent-free, buying groceries for both of us, even giving him gas money when he needed it. He was my son. I wanted to help. That evening, Michael came home around 9 p.m. Hey, Mom, how was your day? Interesting. I found out someone's been using my identity to open credit cards. Michael looked concerned. That's terrible. About $260,000 in debt. Jesus! Do you know who did it? Not yet, but I'm going to find out. What are you going to do? File a police report? Hire a lawyer? Whatever it takes. Mom, that sounds expensive. It'll be worth it to catch the bastard who did this to me. Michael went to his room early that night. Said he wasn't feeling well. The next morning, I went to the police station. I need to report identity theft. The officer, a young woman named Detective Rodriguez, took my statement. Mrs. Williams, this is a serious crime. Identity theft of this magnitude could be a federal offense. What do I need to do? First, we'll need copies of all the fraudulent accounts. Then we'll start investigating who had access to your personal information. How do I get copies of the accounts? Contact each credit card company. They'll send you statements and application documents. Will they show who opened the accounts? They'll show the application information. Names, addresses, phone numbers. I spent the next 3 days calling credit card companies. Chase, Citibank, Capital One, Discover. 17 different companies. Each conversation was the same. Washoe Patricia Williams opened this account 3 years ago. What address was used? Your home address. What phone number? 550-147. I didn't recognize the phone number. Can you send me copies of the original applications? Yes, ma'am. They'll arrive within 7 business days. A week later, my mailbox was full of envelopes from credit card companies. I spread the applications across my kitchen table. Every application had my name, address, and social security number, but the handwriting wasn't mine, and the signature looked familiar, very familiar. I went to my desk and pulled out some old birthday cards. Cards signed by Michael over the years. The handwriting was identical. My son had been forging my signature to open credit cards in my name. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was the phone number on every application. 550-147. I'd seen that number before. I went to Michael's room and looked at his cell phone bill, which I'd been paying. 550-147. My son had been using his own phone number on the fraudulent credit card applications. He wasn't even trying to hide it. That evening I confronted him. Michael, we need to talk. Sir, Mom. What's up? I know it was you. What was me? The credit cards, the identity theft, all of it. Michael's face went white. Mom, I don't know what you're talking about. Your phone number is on every application? What phone number? 550-147. Your cell phone. Michael sat down hard. Michael, you've destroyed my credit, ruined my financial life. I was going to pay it back. With what money? You don't even have a job. I was looking for work. For 18 months. Michael, what have you been doing with $260 living? Living how? Cars, clothes, vacations, restaurants. I wanted to feel successful again. So you decided to steal from your mother. I borrowed from you. Borrowing requires permission. Michael started crying. Mom, I was depressed. I lost my job, my apartment, my girlfriend. I felt like a complete failure. So you decided to become a criminal instead. I wasn't trying to hurt you. You destroyed my credit score. I can't get a loan, rent an apartment, or even get a cell phone contract. I was going to fix it. How? I was going to get a job and pay off all the cards. Michael, it would take you 30 years to pay off $260. I was hoping to win some money gambling. You gambled my money away. Some of it. How much? Maybe $50. I felt like I was going to faint. Michael, you took cash advances on credit cards in my name and gambled them away. I thought I could win it back and pay everything off. What happened to the rest of the money? I bought a car. What kind of car costs $200? 2 cars. A Buick and a Mercedes. Where are they now? I sold them. For how much? Oh, bought 80,000. You bought $200 worth of cars and sold them for 80,000. They were used when I bought them. What happened to the 80,000? I paid off some of the credit cards, the ones that were threatening to sue you. I sat down before I fell down. Michael, credit card companies were threatening to sue me. Just a few. How many? 5 or 6. You let it get so bad that companies were threatening legal action against your mother. Oh, I was handling it. You were handling it by selling cars and gambling. Michael was sobbing now. Mom, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't fix my credit score. What do you want me to do? I want you to turn yourself into the police. What? This is a crime. Mom, please. I'm your son. My son wouldn't steal from me. I was desperate. Desperate people ask for help. Thieves steal. Mom, if I go to prison, my life is over. Your life is already over. You're a 38-year-old man with no job, no skills, and no moral compass. That's not fair. What's not fair is what you did to me. Michael stood up to leave. Where are you going? I don't know. You're right. You can't. Are you kicking me out? I'm protecting myself from further theft. Mom, I would never steal from you again. Michael, you said that same thing 2 years ago when I caught you taking money from my purse. That was different. How was it different? That was just 4D doing, and now it's 260 liras and... What's next? My house? I would never take your house! You would if you thought you could get away with it. Michael packed his things that night. Before he left, he came to my bedroom. Mom, I love you. I love you too. But love doesn't fix what you've done. Can you ever forgive me? I already forgive you. But I'll never trust you again. What's the difference? Forgiveness is for my peace of mind. Trust is for my protection. So this is it. We're done. Michael, you committed a felony against me. Multiple felonies. But I'm your son. Being my son makes it worse, not better. Why? Because children are supposed to protect their parents, not prey on them. Michael left that night. The next morning, I called Detective Rodriguez. Detective, I know who stole my identity. Oh, my son. Mrs. Williams, are you sure? I have handwriting samples, phone records, and witness testimony. What do you want to do? I want to press charges. Ma'am, this is your son we're talking about. I know exactly who it is. Are you sure you want to put him in prison? I'm sure I want to stop him from destroying other people's lives. What if he pays you back? With what money? He's unemployed and homeless. What if he gets a job and sets up a payment plan? Detective, he stole $260,000 from me. At minimum wage, it would take him 15 years to pay that back. So you want him prosecuted? I want him held accountable for his choices. The investigation took 6 weeks. Michael was arrested at his friend's house where he'd been staying. He was charged with 18 counts of identity theft, credit card fraud, and forgery. The prosecutor offered him a plea deal, 3 years in prison and full restitution. Michael's lawyer called me. Mrs. Williams, your son wants to take the plea deal, but he needs your approval for the restitution terms. What terms? He'll pay you $500 a month for the rest of his life. That's $6,000 a year. It would take him 40 years to pay me back. It's better than nothing. Is it, or is it just another way for him to avoid real consequences? What do you mean? I mean $500 a month is nothing. It's a car payment. Mrs. Williams, your son will be almost 80 years old before he pays you back. Good. Maybe that will teach him something about the cost of stealing. Are you sure you want to hold him to that? I'm sure I want him to understand that actions have consequences. Michael pled guilty and was sentenced to 3 years in state prison. He's been locked up for 8 months now. He writes me letters every week. Mom, I'm sorry. I'm getting counseling. I'm learning a trade. I want to make this right when I get out. I read every letter, but I don't write back. Not because I don't love him, because love without boundaries isn't love. It's enabling, and I enabled my son for too long. I gave him free housing when he needed independence. I gave him money when he needed motivation. I gave him forgiveness when he needed consequences. And look where it got us. Him in prison, me financially destroyed. I'm 71 years old. I should be enjoying my retirement. Instead, I'm working part-time at a grocery store to pay off debt that my son created. I can't get a credit card, can't get a loan, can't even rent an apartment if I wanted to move. My credit score is slowly improving, but it will take years to fully recover. Michael destroyed more than my finances. He destroyed my trust in family. My daughter Jennifer calls every week. Mom, when are you going to visit Michael in prison? I'm not. But he's your son. He's also a criminal who stole my identity. He made a mistake. Made hundreds of mistakes. over 3 years. Mom, he needs family support. He needed family support 3 years ago when he was committing crimes. Now he needs to face the consequences alone. That's harsh. What's harsh is stealing 260,000 from your elderly mother. He was depressed. Depression doesn't make you forge signatures and open fraudulent credit accounts. What would Dad say about this? Your father would have turned in and believed you won? Are you sure? Or believed in accountability? He wouldn't have let Michael destroy our family's financial security. So you're never going to forgive him? I already forgave him, but forgiveness doesn't require me to pretend it didn't happen. What about when he gets out of prison? What about it? Will you help him get back on his feet? Jennifer, I'm 71 years old, working at a grocery store to pay off his debts. I can't help anyone get back on their feet. But he's going to need somewhere to live. That's his problem to solve. Mom, he's your son. He's also a convicted felon who stole my identity. People change. Some people change. Others just get better at hiding who they really are. Which kind do you think Michael is? I hope he's the kind who changes, but I'm not going to bet my future on it. Last week, Michael called from prison. It was the first time I'd spoken to him since his arrest. Mom, thank you for accepting my call. What do you want, Michael? I want to apologize. Really apologize? I'm listening. Mom, I know what I did was unforgivable. I stole from you. I lied to you. I destroyed your trust. Yes, you did. I can't undo what I did. But I can promise you I'll never do anything like this again. Michael, you promised me that same thing 2 years ago when I caught you stealing cash from my purse. This is different. How? Because I lost everything. My freedom, my family, my future. I finally understand what my choices cost. What did they cost? They cost me the person I loved most in the world. Michael, you didn't lose me because you went to prison. You lost me because you became a person I couldn't trust. Can I ever earn that trust back? I don't know. Trust isn't earned with words. It's earned with consistent actions over a long period of time. How long? However long it takes. What if it takes forever? Then it takes forever. Mom, I can't live the rest of my life knowing you hate me. I don't hate you, Michael. I just don't trust you. What's the difference? Hate would require me to care about what you do with your life. I don't anymore. That's worse than hate. Maybe. But it's honest. Mom, what do I have to do to get my mother back? You have to become the son I thought I raised. How do I do that? I don't know. But it starts with understanding that actions have consequences that last longer than apologies. I understand that now. Do you? Or do you just understand that you got caught? I understand that I hurt the person who loved me most. Good. Maybe that means you won't hurt the next person who makes the mistake of trusting you. I hung up after that conversation. Not because I was angry, because I was done. Done enabling. Done excusing. Done pretending that love could fix what character had broken. Michael gets out of prison next year. People ask me what I'll do when he's released. The answer is simple: nothing. I won't help him find housing. I won't help him find work. I won't give him money or advice or emotional support. Not because I don't love him, because sometimes love means letting people face the full consequences of their choices. Michael is 41 years old enough to have known better, old enough to face the results of his decisions alone. My job as his mother was to raise him with values and morals. I did that job. What he chose to do with those values was up to him. And what he chooses to do with his life after prison will be up to him too. I'm 71 years old. I don't have time to raise my son twice, especially when the first time didn't take